Hey everyone, and once again welcome to WsCubeTech English channel. Myself Umar Taskir. Guys, in this particular video of Facebook ad series, we are basically going to talk about lookalike audiences. So we will be discussing the concepts behind lookalike audiences and how can we actually create lookalike audiences, what are the different types of lookalike audiences, how we should create lookalike audiences, and how it actually differs from the different audiences that we know so far, right? So we will be talking about the concepts related to lookalike audiences. It is again a very important concept. So we will be talking about lookalike audiences in this particular video. So far we know different kind of audiences, which are like the first audience that we discussed, or the first kind of audience that we discussed is saved audience, right? We know about saved audience, which is there in Facebook ads, which is there in Facebook already, which is there in Facebook, right? And then we also discussed about the custom audiences. So we know there are different sources through which we can actually create our custom audience, and then we can fire our campaigns on those custom audiences. So the different sources are, the one is Facebook itself. So whenever we are working on the different properties, or whenever we are working on the different assets of Facebook, like Facebook page or Facebook events or Facebook leads, lead forms and everything, so we can actually create custom audiences based on the interactions that audience is doing on the assets which are owned by Facebook, like Facebook page. If we have Facebook page, if there are like some events that we have created on our Facebook page, or there are different things also, instant article thing, and the videos that we have uploaded on Facebook. So we can create custom audiences based on the interaction of the people on different assets of the Facebook, right? And then the other source through which we can actually create our custom audience is basically our website, right? So if we have website and we have pixel installed on our website, how it is going to help us is basically it will track the different interactions which are happening on our website in the form of page visits, or in the form of different goals or conversions that we have defined, right? So our pixel will track all these things, our pixel will track all these interactions on our website, and based on those interactions, based on those activities, we have the option of creating custom audiences. This is again a very powerful thing. So this creation of custom audiences will help us in creating different remarketing campaigns, right? So we can also create different remarketing campaigns, and basically to create remarketing campaigns, what we require is custom audience, right? You cannot create a remarketing campaign without creating any custom audience, right? So this is the basic concept behind the audiences that we know so far. And when we talk about the saved audiences, these are basically cold audience type. These are cold audience type, and we can create saved audiences based on demographics, based on interest, right? We can create saved audiences based on demographics, we can create saved audiences based on interest, as well as we can create saved audiences based on the behavioral characteristics, right? So we have different options through which we can actually create saved audiences, but these are the cold audiences. Whereas when we talk about custom audiences, these are basically warm audiences, and the ones who converted, right? The people who converted, or the audience that converted, that already converted, comes under the hot audience category. So this is the basics behind audiences. Now in this particular video, as I just told you, we will be talking about look alike audience. So as the name suggests, look alike audience. So let's say if this one is the look alike audience, as the name suggests, this particular audience is look alike of any other audience, right? So we have two audiences, or we know two types of audiences so far. One is saved audience, one is saved audience, which is like cold audience, and another one is custom audience, right? You cannot create lookalike audience of your saved audience. There is no option. You actually cannot, right? So if you have any saved audience and you want to create lookalike audience of saved audience, you have no option over there, right? So this is not possible. This feature is not there. So the only option left over here is custom audiences. So whatever custom audiences you have created, or whatever custom audiences you are looking to create, you have the option of creating lookalike audience of that particular custom audience. So for example, if you have custom audience number 1, if you have custom audience number 2, And if you have custom audience number 3, let's say you have 3 custom audiences over here, and the definition of custom audience number 1 is like, or the audience set which is there in custom audience number 1 is your website visitors, right? So let's take this example. Website visitors are there in our custom audience number 1, and over here we have our page engagers, right? And in the third custom audiences we have video engagers, right? So we have 3 custom audiences created over here. One is from our source, this one is like from our source, and then these 2 are like from Facebook sources, right? These are Facebook sources, because here we are using page engagements to create our custom audiences, and here we are using video engagements to create our custom audiences. Now what we can do is, we can go ahead and we can create a lookalike audience of any one of these custom audiences. We have this option, we have this feature in Facebook ads where we can actually take the attributes of these custom audiences. Like if we are having a custom audience number 1, which is basically like our website visitors, so whenever we will be creating lookalike audience of our custom audience number 1, right, our lookalike audience will have same characteristics, or Facebook will try to find out same characteristics. Whenever you will go for an option where you want to create a lookalike audience of your already existing custom audiences, what Facebook will do is, Facebook will go ahead and try to find out the different people, or try to find out different audiences which will be having the characteristics similar to this particular custom audience, which is C1, right? So if you have decided, or if you want to create lookalike audience of custom audience, which means that the audience set that will be created over here, the audience set that will be created over here will have same attributes or kind of same characteristics, we can write same characteristics as this particular audience is having, right? Which one is C1. So if this particular audience is interested in, let's say if this audience is interested in digital marketing, there is high probability that most of the people in this lookalike audience are interested in digital marketing only, right? Or digital marketing, right? So this is why we basically create our lookalike audience, because see what happens is, your custom audience is always limited, right? So if you have only for like 5,000 website visitors, you cannot reach more people who have same interest, right? Because now your custom audience is limited. There is some scope with regards to custom audiences, and it is limited in terms of numbers, right? Whatever website visitors you will have, your custom audience set or your custom audience box will carry those visitors only. Now what you want is, you know that okay, this custom audience is actually working for us, this custom audience is working for me, you know this thing, right? And now you want more people like your custom audiences, you want more people who have characteristics which are similar to your website visitors. Now you want this thing, you want these kind of people. What you can do is, you can go ahead and create the lookalike audience of your custom audience number 1. Similarly, if you have different custom audiences in your Facebook ad account, and what you have observed is, there are like some custom audiences which are working absolutely fine and giving you some results, right? So you can pick those custom audiences, you can identify those custom audiences, and you can scale that thing, right? So what you will do is, you will try to find out similar people who you think that can basically relate to the custom audiences which is working for you, right? You want to find similar people, you want to capture similar people, or you want to show your ads to the similar people on Facebook who are similar to your working custom audiences, right? So what you can do is, you can go ahead and utilize the option of lookalike. You can create your lookalike, and then you also have the option of like you can create different intensity within your lookalike audiences. So you have different options over here. You can go ahead and create 1%, 2%, 3%, right? So 1% lookalike audience of any custom audience, let's say it's CX, right? So there is a custom audience CX, and if we are creating 1% audience, 1% lookalike audience of CX, which means that the audiences which are created under 1% are more relatable or more similar to CX when we will compare it with 2%, right? So you have these options also. So 1% audience set is definitely more relevant or more like more similar to your source audience, which is over here, like your custom audiences, because you have created lookalike audience from this particular audience only. So this will be treated as source and this will be treated as lookalike audience. So you have both the options over here, right? You have source thing over here also, and then you have your lookalike. So if you are creating your lookalike audiences as 1%, it will be more similar, right? More similar to your source in comparison to the lookalike audience of 2%, right? So this is all about lookalike audiences. So in the next video, we will be talking about how can we actually practically implement the concepts of lookalike audiences, where we are going to see this option, and then we are almost done with the audiences and the different types of audiences that we can actually create within Facebook ads. And what you can do is you can go ahead and try all these different things, because now we know there are different types of audiences that you can actually create, right? And another very important thing is you have to test different audiences. You cannot rely on the single type of audience. Whatever options you have, right? Whatever different types of audiences you can actually create, you have to test those types of audiences and identify which kind of audience or which type of audience, or which to be very precise, which audience is actually working for you. You can go ahead and create lookalike audience of that particular audience. You can create similar kind of custom audience and everything. So that's it for this specific video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.